Every time I touch mic. Every time I touch mic.
Explode the sunlight here, gentlemen. You explode the universe.
Every time I touch mic. time I touch Mac.
Hello everybody, welcome to Aegis Esports Fate's Voyage Beyond. I'm Sir Hirsch, joined by my good friend Dragon once again.
Oh, what's up?
Dragon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. We're at the final 4 teams. And today we get to watch the Hot Pink Cuties go up against the Church of Targon.
Whoa.
To see who is going to be joining us in the finals.
Spoilers.
Yeah, you see... It's all right. They won't. They didn't hear that. It's all good.
But yes, we are going to be...
We can gaslight them a little longer.
By popular demand, we will be watching Hot Pink Cuties versus Church of Targon. I'm really excited. These are both 2 of my favorite teams right now. I absolutely love both of these teams. They're full of great people and great players. I'm really excited to watch this tonight.
Yeah, and you know, Skate is a long-time supporter of Howdy, so I'm kind of excited to watch him and his team play today as well.
So with that, we know our first match of the night. It is going to be Calf versus Lunaya. So let's throw it straight into the deck list, Dragon, with our first deck of the night, Calf.
All right, guys, guess what? It's Gem, Elder, Gallia, Morgana. It's still one of the most popular mid-range decks that we have, and it's been doing well. We've seen it quite a lot the last few weeks. It looks pretty standard, all things considered. Maybe a few different things with the numbers, like, you know, we have 2 Mahiras in the top end, only 1 sign-in. There's even a Duran Sculptor in the mix, and a Protege, but other than that, you know, pretty standard stuff all around, I would say.
Yeah, I honestly agree with you. Like, I've said it multiple times, and I'll say it again. This top end, it's flexible. Like, this is probably a deck where I've seen so much of a top end be flexible.
I mean, yeah, Elder Dragon is going to do so much flexibility with that top end, and because boons are so powerful. But you just get to play the expensive cards and you get to make the best of them.
Yep, and with that, let us move on to CAF's second deck of the night, which is one of my favorite decks right now, the Poro King. Well, wait, actually, this is not the right version. This is actually a Targon version, not a Freljord version.
You know, there's Freljord cards in it close enough, but you know, yeah, we have the Poro King here. Here we see a lot of like a little bit of a splash of some of the Poros as one-ofs. We are seeing a few new changes here. Like we're playing triple prototype Porobot. That's one of the newish cards that came out. Has elusive and attune, and whenever we play a 6-cost spell, we get to summon one. As you can see here, we're playing a lot of those cards that can summon it, which is a total of 0. But besides that, we're branching out into Targon here for Zolani, because once we play any of our Poro stacks that we will definitely find for sure, trust, it turns all of our Poros into units that proc Zolani. Then Zolani can get really big and just murder the opponent. But also, I'll get some nice interaction from Targon as well with some Hushes and Moonlight Afflictions to deal with stuff at burst speed. Black Shield can protect our units. Pale Cascade is just a really good pump spell. And then all the other Poro shenanigans that you'd expect from a Poro King deck.
Yeah, I'm honestly very, very excited for this, because I've always said prototype Porobot is actually really good. Even if you can't pop its ability, it's still really good just because of its keywords and how fast you can stack Poro stacks in this deck.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, hey, technically speaking, it is the same amount of mana to play as Daring Poro, because you get 1 spell mana back, which will let you still play Poro stacks pretty easily.
Yeah. And moving on to CAF's third and final deck of the night, we have Kennen Jinx, a deck that's been floating around here for a while.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like a pretty standard deck list. Like this is a very aggressive deck that wants to leverage Squeaker and Arena Promoter for some discard outlets, as well as cards to get you some really powerful Mecha Yordles. We're also running a lot of burn in this deck with triple Mystic, triple Blowback, and triple Electro Harpoon, and even a 4th technically from Bandled Hellstone. So this deck has a lot of reach, and that is definitely something that'll come up in the games that we're going to see today.
Yeah, for sure. And moving on to Lunaya's deck list of the night. Starting off, we have Seraphine Karma Set, a deck that we have seen all over the meta. It is never going away. I call it.
Hey, we've seen Karma Set. We've seen the Seraphine Set. We haven't seen all 3 of them together that often.
I mean, it's whether you have Seraphine, whether you have Karma Set, just Karma Set, or whether you have Seraphine Set, it's basically the same deck. I said what I said. I mean it.
You know what, Hirsch? At least we can see all the spells on one page for once.
Yes, we are able to see all the spells on the same page for once, but there is one major card that I see that is missing from this deck, Dragon. Do you see this card that is missing?
I don't know, man. I see the triple Sunken Temple. I see the triple Seraphine. Well, you know, I do not see a big cat, if that's the one you're referencing.
That is what I'm referencing. That is one of the main win cons of this deck. Like, if you...
I mean, to be fair, I think most Seraphine decks don't usually play with Set in Ionia. They usually have some other outlet, so not seeing that makes a little bit... So, you know, having the Karma Set win con as well makes some sense, because, you know,
yeah,
you get Set spell doubled with Seraphine, you can just wipe the board, tripled with Karma, like... You just generate so much value, you can just run over your opponent even without Big Cat. But yeah, I'll definitely say it can make it a little bit harder to close out the game efficiently, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. One thing I do want to point out is something that we don't really see in Karma Seraphine or Set decks is Grandfather Fae. Interesting tech, and just to be able to generate an Owl Cat, just to be able to have 1 extra blocker.
I mean, hey, extra blocker with Spell Shield can matter. And then, you know, there's also a few other different 2-ofs, like we see 2 Palm, we see 2 Tag Out, so violating the fast speed interaction on the stack a lot. So give you a little bit more consistency with Sunken Temple, especially since, you like with the Targon version, there's quite a few different ways to interact on the stack, whereas there's a lot less versions in Ionia, or a lot less ways to like interact when your opponent attacks you, whereas Ionia, these are the two best ways, really.
I also do want to point out one more interesting card that I just see popped up in my face. We're running a one-up called Shot Dragon.
Look, Luna's not afraid to take to call her shot here. All right.
But are we going to have a board big enough for?
We're gonna pay 4 mana to summon a second Seraphine and then play a bunch of spells with our Seraphines. 2 Seraphines in play. That's all you really need, Hirsch.
No, it's a brand new spell, so we're getting 3 Seraphines.
Oh, true. Oh, no, the card's 4 mana, and surely it's not going to be 2 mana for Sunken Temple. That'll never happen.
No
That'll
way.
Never happen.
No way, Jose.
Yeah,
but
well, interested to see how this turns out.
Yeah, moving on to Luna's second deck of the night. I'm thinking it's going to be Jinx Cannon again. Yep, Jinx Cannon once again.
You know what, Hirsch? I think the most interesting thing about this deck is I'm pretty sure this is card for card the same list we just saw earlier.
I mean, we could verify that real quick. Hold on, let's see. I don't know if it is
almost.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
It actually is card for card the same list that Cap is running, which is very interesting. I think that's pretty much the standard list, right?
Yeah, that's the standard list. I mean, hey, something, a lot of burn, something, Mecha Yordle, something, Jinx WinCon.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Something like that. Something around those lines. And moving on to Lunaya's third and final deck, one of Lunaya's special brews, Nico Nidalee Dragon.
I mean, I know that Luna loves her Nidalee decks, so it's not entirely surprising to me that Luna managed to sneak Nidalee past the watchful eye of Kasai. Although I'm pretty sure Kasai probably was like, yeah, go for it. Yeah, in all seriousness though, this is a very aggressive list that we're seeing here. There is 2 spells in the entire deck. We are heavily reliant on our units here to really push for damage. As you can see here, we're playing a lot of different units here with a lot of different subtypes. And the important thing here is that all of them are hit by Nico, it looks like. Yep, all of them are hit by Nico, and all of them will give Nico level progress, sometimes multiple procs in this case. So really trying to hone in on like getting a wide board and buffing it up with Nico to make it really imposing and close out the game quickly.
So I'm noticing we're running 4 units. Oh wait, no, wait. Is Forsaken Bukai have a subtype?
Forsaken Bukai is a cultist. You are correct. So it does have a subtype. Yes.
Oh, true, it does.
Yep. Yeah, I think every unit here looks to have a subtype. What's the other one you think didn't have one?
Avenging Messiah.
Avenging Messiah is a lizard.
Is it a reptile?
It's either a reptile or a lizard. I can't remember. It's one of those two, though.
I need to
I can't wait to watch Luna hit Lurk from our one of Xerxai hatchling. That'll be really funny.
So, Avenging Messiah does not have a subtype. I was right.
Wait, really? I could have sworn it was a cultist.
Yeah, so Avenging Messiah does not have a subtype, and I'm like almost like 90% positive Forsaken Bukai doesn't have a subtype either.
Forsaken Bukai is a cultist.
Yes, it does. It does have cultist.
Yep. All right, you're right. Avenging Messiah doesn't have a subtype. Wow, I really thought it did.
Yeah, so we're running 2 units that don't have a subtype, but we're running them just for 3 denies, just to have 3 units on board, or just to have more units on board and still have 3
also,
backup denies.
Our opponent might throw removal at it thinking it's Nidalee, and then we just get to flip it over and say, lol, nice removal.
True. This is very true. But yeah, this has been one of Lunaya's like favorite brews. I've seen them bring it multiple times and actually do very well on it. Everybody was thinking, yeah, looking at this deck, yeah, it's really hot garbage, but actually Luna is just proving everybody wrong and showing you that it's actually a pretty decent deck.
I mean, hey, all I'm saying is if this deck wasn't good, I don't think they'd be bringing it to top 4. So I definitely think we might be making some surprises today if we happen to see it.
I mean,
to be fair, It's also could get banned because people are like, I don't know what this deck does, and I'm scared of it. So I'd rather play against the decks I know more about.
How do you feel about this deck?
I'll say I think this deck is can get a very strong board presence early, but I think if this deck loses control of the board, it is a very difficult time rebuilding because it lacks a lot of getting resources back. We have some deck hunters and glacial saurians and a few junk constructs that can get us some more units, but other than that, we don't really have any draw. So it can be a little bit difficult to get a board presence after we lose the first one.
Yeah. And with that, let us throw it back to the caster desk for one of my favorite times of the night, Dragon. Predictions. Who do you think?
Predictions.
We're going to see what everybody is thinking, who is going to win this set tonight, and all across the board, everybody thinks Church of Targon is going to win. Now,
all right. I'd like to preface mine by saying I voted for Church of Targon because I believe in Skathis rooting for Howdy. I honestly didn't look at the decks before I made my decision. I'm like, dang, dude, Skathis always roots for Howdy. I got to root for him here.
Yes. Every day, I without fail, first thing in the morning, howdy. But it's a very hard pick for me. I like both teams. I think both teams are very solid. I think this is going to be a very, very interesting match tonight. It was a very difficult choice for me, but I do have to represent my friends, Chip.
I mean, hey, I think both these teams have some pretty solid decks with a few curveballs thrown in. Like, we haven't seen a lot of Poro King recently, but we have 2 Poro Kings on Church of Targon this week, for example. So, going to be interesting to see how these decisions come about and see which team's meta read is going to be better for them today, and which team's going to be able to make it to the finals, and which team's going to go to their finish 3rd, 4th.
Yeah, and with that, let us throw it off to the ban phase, Dragon, and see what our ban strategy is. Take this one away, Dragon.
All right, so your calf, I think you're fine going against Jinx Cannon. You have some healing in both of your decks. You have some healing in 2 of your decks, and then the 3rd deck is like, I'm defined playing against the mirror for Jinx Cannon. Seraphine set, I think, is a bit of a difficult time against these decks as well, because like the big mid-range things don't die easily, and Poros, and they get like 1 or 2 Poro stacks, suddenly don't die to any of your removal, which can be a bit difficult to deal with. I can also see a ban of Nico Nidalee because it's a deck that you don't have much experience against, I have to imagine. And you just like don't want to deal with that surprise factor. Otherwise, maybe it might be like a Jinx Cannon for just like it can be the faster as well. Might be a bit difficult for your gem deck. Like while you do have the healing to come back later on in the game, so you can deal with some of the overtop burn, it might just be so fast you have a hard time answering it. What do you think about Lunaya's ban here, Hirsch?
With Lunaya's ban, probably. Oh, it's so tough. You're obviously gonna leave up Jinx Cannon, but it's a really tough pick between Poro King and Gem. I think Nico Nidalee can actually get through Poro King, just because it matches it board for board tempo. But I think we're gonna be banning Gem on the side of Lunaya, honestly.
Yeah, plus I have to imagine like the Karma set Seraphine list has probably the better time against Poro King because if they don't find their Poro snacks, their deck is really weak to you, and you have decent answers to Poro King immediately coming down with like you can just recall him because you have multiple ways to do that. You can try to have like a Hexpliterator or something on him as well. So
yeah. I honestly think it's kind of thinking about it more and more. I think it's obviously just going to be a gem ban, but like,
yeah, I can imagine it just being a gem ban.
Yeah, on the side of Calf, you're probably just banning either the Nico Nidalee, just because this is Lunaya's signature deck.
Yep.
But we finally have bans, Dragon. So let us show what we are having banned on both sides. We see that Jinx Cannon being taken away from the side of Lunaria, and on the side of Kef, we do see that the Morgana, Elder Dragon, Galio deck has been banned as well.
I mean, it makes sense because Jinx can. I didn't say before, like, they decks have some healing, and like then there's the mirror, but portals actually don't have a lot of healing. I was wrong about that. I forgot that they're not running like any of the. I see Targon. I think, oh, they're playing like Youngling and things like that. No, they're not. They don't have any way to heal, so it can be a bit. If you get a slow start, you can get run over quickly and get burned out. And mirror is 50-50, whereas the other matchups are more one-sided towards you or them. So I can understand not wanting to trust that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Now comes the time. Which deck are we choosing first, Dragon?
I mean, I think if I'm Luna, I want to play. I want to play my Nidalee deck for the stream. Gotta give the viewers what they want. And if I'm Calf, I want to play Jinx Cannon because I want to get this series over with as fast as possible.
That's so toxic. What do you mean? What do you mean? Are you saying Calf is gonna struggle into this match?
No, I mean he's just gonna turbo. He's like, I want to go home tonight, like 9 o'clock, dude. I want to just win these games quickly.
We were just waiting for these players to get into the match, but honestly, yeah, I think Lunaya is just gonna keep up Nico Nidalee just to get the free win out of the way, and probably Cap is probably gonna get this read that she's gonna pick, or they're gonna pick Nico Nidalee and just go straight Jinx Cannon.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see who's gonna be right, because we both said the exact same thing.
I know, I know we said the exact same thing, but it does make sense.
Yep.
But while we're waiting for these guys to get into the match, how about that Play Runeterra Twitter, huh?
I know, right? Crazy. We're getting new cards now. Got 3 champions so far, and quite a few new mechanics. Interested to see how things shake up, especially with them also announcing rotation. And most importantly for you, I'm sure, is the announcement that they're bringing back a spell that does 4 damage to the enemy nexus. So you know what card's coming back, Hirsch.
Wait. They're bringing back Double Up?
You bet, dude. I love how you went with the exact same thing I was gonna say.
But yes, my favorite Big Red X is coming back into Standard. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how the things shake up for that. I've looked at the full list quickly. I haven't looked at it too closely. I'd have to see if they're also gonna leave Fervor in Standard, or if they're gonna tell aggro decks to adapt a bit, because Fervor has been a staple of aggro decks the entire game's history. So them losing that would be a very big shakeup to aggro decks play.
I mean, we got Big Red Axe. That's all I care about, right?
Yeah, for Noxus, obviously.
Exactly. Like, if they take Fervor away, it is what it is. I just want my Big Red Axe.
You know what, Hirsch? When all people are playing all their new champions on day 1, I know what deck you'll be playing.
What deck am I going to be playing, Dragon?
BigRedAxe.exe.
Yes, sir. I am part of the gamers that Decimate did nothing wrong, and Decimate did not need to be nerfed. Just saying.
You're also part of the gamers that say, hey, I know everyone's drawing these new cards that came out, but I'm going to play aggro on day 1 in Climb. Don't mind me.
Hey, man. You got to hit rank 1 somehow, right?
Exactly. Hey, now's the best time to do it.
I mean, I've already hit rank 1 before.
Now's the best time for me to do it, I guess.
Oh, true. It is a good time for you to do it.
We're in the game, and look at that, Hirsch. Jinx Cannon versus Nico. We're just too good at this game.
Who would have predicted this? Who could have predicted this? I couldn't have.
How could Ezreal do this?
How could Ezreal predict this?
Yeah.
Honestly, a very, very strong opener from the side of Lunaya. Like, this opening hand is absolutely disgusting. And we get the Nidalee on top as well.
Yeah, also pretty solid hand from Calf as well. Got like your 1-drop and a 2-drop, and then you can go Squeaker for a Mecha Yordle, or you can even go like Electro Harpoon as well. It would have been nice to not see this Electro Harpoon in the Band of the Toughstones, honestly.
Like, I think it's too early to be seeing these cards, but still,
I don't think you want both of them yet. I think you definitely want at least one, but preferably the Electro Harpoon, because then you don't have to spend the extra mana to get to it.
Yeah.
Plus, we are getting, however, I will say we are getting quite a bit of fodder for them. Heck, we can even see a Squeaker come down next turn to discard the Spear to look for a Mecha Yordle early. Now the question is, do we play our Deck Hunter or Nico next turn?
We're playing Deck Hunter right now.
I'll have to see. Oh, Deck Hunter. Oh, now Deck Hunter's really good because you're not gonna get the trade. But Luna is opting not to do that, and we see the Junk Construct come down.
I mean, it does make sense to get this early portal into the deck, just be able to swing wide and just not have any real punishment. So it does really make sense. We do see the Deck Hunter come down now. What do we hit? Ooh, the Beast Bellow and the Ranger Knight Defector. These are absolute insane right now.
I honestly think Beast Bellow might be better because you're already have the Cultist proc for Nico, but you're never going to see a sea monster in this deck unless you pick Beast Below.
I mean, that's also true.
Oh, instead we're picking the Ether Fiend, so we have a form of removal. Remember, our deck is playing 0 removal, so Gaff is likely not going to be playing around any type of removal being thrown his way, and might get caught off guard when it comes down on turn 6.
Oh, that's actually a really good point. I actually do like that a lot.
Plus, everyone knows birds aren't real, so obviously Gaff's never going to expect it.
Yeah, for real. Birds are just a figment of the government. They're drones.
Exactly.
We do see the open swing with the Junk Construct, and honestly, Deck Hunter can get in as well, but...
don't forget that this is actually Nico as well.
Oh yeah, this is Nico. I forgot.
Yep. Oh, what's on top? But if we... So this would give us 3 here. Because actually, I don't remember. Does Nico count as 1 for herself? So would she be at 4 or 3 here?
Nico does count when she is flipped face up.
Okay, but not face down. Okay.
No. Like, technically, we only have 2 right now because we have Cat. Or technically, we have 3. I lie. We have Cultist, we have Fae, and we have Cat.
Yep. All right. So we see the dash. The dash come down here. 4/4 with double impact. If Luna wants to take that off the board, gonna have to play this Nidalee out. Could go like Nidalee is the 2/2, flip it face up, and then still play the one drop. Yeah, I was gonna say I like that line a lot. If we're gonna opt for the trade, we could also just opt to say take all this damage and call it a day. Could also see Calf drag. Oh, Calf! This is a smart drag here from Calf because the 1/2 trades really nicely with the other units. Whereas now, if we want to, now we're like losing a unit if we want to trade here.
But we do have to remember that this isn't really a 1/2. This is actually Nico. So I mean, if Nico wants
a 1/2, no, the 1/2 is actually Deck Hunter. It's the Junk Construct that's Nico.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm just dumb.
Yeah, and I think Luna's not valuing the Nico flip, especially when there's a second Nico in hand.
We've seen Lily get flip face up, just trading into this smash and dash, just getting rid of this value generator, or not really value generator, but just good amount of damage value out of this unit as fast as possible.
Exactly. It's a lot of damage it's threatening, so getting it off the board quickly is helpful. Luna's going to opt to actually keep the Junk Construct alive, which is actually Nico, because I will say it'd be a little difficult to flip it next turn. They're only at 3 right now for the level progress.
I think the fact,
even with the Lurker in hand, that could also just die to this Pie Toss we see in Calf's hand here right now.
So I think the fact that Lunaya didn't block with this Junk Construct is giving Calf a heads up that, hey, that Junk Construct is actually in Italy. Or not in Italy, Nico.
Yeah.
So that's actually a really good amount of information for CAF right now.
Yep.
I imagine we'll see probably an Electro Harpoon just coming out of that Junk Construct next turn.
Maybe. Imagine from here for Luna, though, we're going to see probably Glacial Saurion. Don't have anything else you really want to be playing here. Like, nothing's really that good.
No, not really. I mean,
I will say, though, on the side of CAF, outside of this Jinx, it's just Burn in hand, so not really going to be able to play much to... Gonna have to play to the board. Not gonna be able to play much to the board in these turns.
What is Saurian hit? Oh, Saurian hits another Saurian.
And the value really continues. Here.
We do see.
And we see here, Nico is 3 away from flipping. There's 2 types in board that Luna could swing, which would be the 2-1 Lurker and the 5-4 Saurion. And then you have the bird in hand could be the last type. But this Jinx coming down means that you really don't... Ooh, actually still opting to swing with the Lurker here.
I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. I would imagine CAF's like just going to take this block, though. There's not a single removal damage spell in Luna's deck. So Jinx at like 1 HP versus 3 does not really matter except for blocking purposes. But I guess it also means that like if you take the block there, you're not able to kill Saurian. But I imagine CAF's probably fine with that exchange, especially since CAF has, technically speaking, 11 burn in hand right now. Problem, of course, is that CAF would have to be able to use all of it.
CAF doesn't have 11. CAF has 13. You're forgetting Vandal Telestones.
No, that was including the Vandal Telestones.
What? 3, 6, 8. One from the pie toss second side. Oh, but Luna's not even going to attack here. That's really interesting. Like at least swinging the Saurian.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, honestly. Luna's not swinging the Saurian.
So we do.
Now we're gonna see the Vandal Telestones come out to kill the Nico Fate Junk Construct. So like on the one hand, it sucks that our Nico is dead. But on the other hand, we are getting the portal into our deck, so we could get the portal next turn. Yeah, now Luna's not gonna hold back now.
We do see
we're not gonna lose our Lurker. Yeah, so now we only have 2 blockers for next turn, and there's a 100% chance that they're gonna pull the 1/2 again. Oh, and we don't find a unit. That's a lot of damage coming to our face here from CAF, and with double blowback in hand, that might be that's really close to lethal.
The problem is we just have to draw enough fodder to really use these blowbacks, right?
And it also is a Rite of Negation and an Avenging Vistaya in Luna's hand here, which would be really devastating to these blowbacks because you're throwing 3 cards and then you're not even killing them.
I mean, you were... yeah.
Like, I honestly think that like going Avenging Vistaya into Bird next turn to kill Jinx would be pretty solid, honestly.
So here's a really cool line right here. So actually, never mind. We're opting not to do it. We're opting to take 2 extra more damage, pushing us down to 6 HP, which is actually putting us into huge lethal range here.
Yeah, since we can see here, going for Heroic Refrain, push 2 extra damage.
Yeah. This is actually putting Luna in a very, very sticky situation.
Yeah, because now CAF can just go for blowback into blowback, and you only need to discard 1 card for these blowbacks to be lethal here, so you don't have to discard your entire hand. Luna's gonna recognize this, gonna get the Avenging Vistaya in play. This does allow Luna to go double deny next turn if need be. Even if we opt to play the Nico. We will need this Nico to hit a subtype we haven't attacked with yet. We want to level with swing with level Nico. But even if we do that, Jinx is gonna level and kill us anyways. So
yeah, like we could we could actually flip this Jinx right now this turn if we wanted to.
Yep, there's a sled dog, so that's Nico. So that would flip Nico right now. Yeah, you can flip the Jinx right now with both blowbacks and still have mana for the rocket. So not amazing for Luna right now.
I don't think we're playing both blowbacks.
I think if the first one gets denied, you do. All right, we're gonna see the Avenging Vastaya come out here.
Being forced to do that now. Now we just
Yeah, I mean that is lethal, so you kind of have to.
yeah. So we release or we do send out the second blowback here.
Yep, that gets met with the right of negation.
Yeah,
And then yeah, that gets met with right of negation. Now you have rocket. This is going to be lethal, it looks like, because I don't think Luna has 13 damage that can get through unblocked.
yeah. It can't go through a block.
Yep. Like Nico will level here. But like at most, you can push 10 damage. And that's
just
just
short.
not going to be enough.
Yeah. So
Luna's going to fall in game 1 to Calf.
what an actual crazy first set.
Yeah. Hey, these aggressive decks can be really difficult to navigate sometimes because
Yeah.
there's just so much burn that's available to them. And honestly, any of the blocks there still would have resulted in the lethal anyways. Because any of those blocks could have resulted in the lethal because the Squeaker had augment, so you get the +1 power, so it was actually 3, so you would have been at 3 HP instead of 2. And that still would have been lethals regardless. But now Luna's going to have to beat the Poro King with Nico and Seraphine. So opting to switch decks up this time. We're going to see Seraphine Karma set come out.
It's honestly really awkward because doesn't Poro King just destroy Karma?
It's not going to be a fun time if Poro King finds Poro stacks, which we see is in the opening hand for Calf.
Yeah, like Calf's opening hand is absolutely disgusting right now.
Yeah, like especially like the plucky Poro as well, getting tough as we. Oh, and Poro stories for even more refill.
The only thing that could really make this hand a lot better is if we draw second Poro stacks.
I think if Calf draws second Poro stacks, Luna is cooked.
Yeah, 100%. Oh man, Luna's hand is not looking that great right now.
Yeah. I'm ready to see a Palm here come down the 2/2 with impact to save HP.
Save 1 HP.
Yep.
Oh man. Like this next top deck has to shape it out. Miriam, not a bad top deck.
Miriam's pretty solid. I can understand passing because their opponent's not doing anything that's good for us because they're a swarm deck. They want to be using their mana aggressively. Well, I'd imagine Calf could go like Poro stories here into a Poro, maybe even just like Pouty Poro pass. Could see that. I think Luna should definitely play this Miriam here.
Oh, 100%. We just throw back the Karma.
Yeah. Maybe even Sputtering. But then we can play Sputtering next turn. I don't know, like a worst case scenario.
I really like throwing the Karma away. I think that's probably...
We could also see a Hag Out come out next turn for Poro King.
I don't think we're ever allowed to play Poro King. Ooh, hitting advanced intel, just giving us an extra draw now. If,
Yeah, not too bad.
it all comes down to like this next turn to really shape the rest of this game out. If Luna's able to really stick Sunken Devil without any real punishment, I think Luna might be able to salvage it.
For sure. And, you know, obviously, Calf can't just pass here. Because if Calf just passes here, Luna's like slamming the accept button every time.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, Luna has Luna has enough mana to go Aftershock and then also hit something, play out the temple afterwards. Problem with playing Aftershock right now is your opponent just played the Poro story, so you know they have the Poros in hand to refill if you kill one.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Also, our Poro King will come down leveled next turn as well, which is good for Calf.
Yeah, it's really good for Kev just because we get an extra Poro snag now. Now we see the full swing come out. It's going to pull out... I forgot what Palm's unit is called.
Hail the Dragon? Something like that? I don't know.
You know,
Luna is going down to 6 here, which is not great.
Yeah, no, this is not great at all. Kev is always pressing resolve on this one.
Yeah, plus there's double Zolani in hand, and those are going to be growing the rest of the game. But I will say, now Luna has gotten their temple to resolve once, and now they can start really getting a new hand to try and salvage the situation. And those aren't too bad. Like getting another tag out, getting Seraphine, pretty solid. Mystic Shot can kill something. Nobify and Deny, pretty useless in this matchup. Not gonna see much help here.
The Mystic Shot is not killing anything anymore.
Yeah, no. I imagine we're gonna see an immediate recall on this Poro King though, because you don't want to risk them playing another Poro.
Yeah, you absolutely have
after
to.
This. Yeah. Especially as you go Unworthy Soul or Tag Out. I'd imagine Tag Out's probably better because you can get the extra card in your hand to shuffle away with Temple to find one more card next turn, which can be pretty helpful.
Oh, 100%.
But you also might want to not... Yeah, I was going to say. Makes sense to play Tag Out here. Plus, you could even like play the coin so that way you're able to have flow proc next turn to make Unworthy Soul 1 less mana or 2 less mana if you happen to find it again. What's the big thing here is we have 2 tag outs in deck and 1 Unworthy Soul. Those are really our only answers to Zolani that can come out next turn. And we're about to lose one of them. I guess we technically speaking, we have P and Z Telstone's Transmog to like transform Zolani into something else.
I mean, we're not dropping a Zolani next turn. We're just going to keep dropping our Poros, right?
Right, that's true. Plus, Zolani's only a 6/6 right now. She's not that problematic yet.
I mean, we have lethal in hand if we just drop our Poros.
True.
Because we have espresso stacks. We just challenge the board the way we want to and just swing for lethal.
Yeah. Probably, I would imagine Calf probably wants to develop. There's not really a good punishment. Like, Concussive Palm is the best punishment that we could really see come out.
Yeah.
But if we like play Poro King into another Poro, we can get more snacks for even more damage. But instead, we're just gonna pass here.
I don't think we cared. I think we could have just gotten away with playing the Lonely Poro and just gone to town.
Yeah, I definitely think we could have definitely played one more.
To see,
I will say Luna didn't get great cards here.
Luna didn't get any recall.
No. Or stun either. This is not looking great for Luna here.
So that means that this Daring Poro is actually just going to do massive work for us right now.
Yeah. I will say the Smooth Mixologist is very nice here. Gets us up to 9 HP, so we're not instantly dead.
We're still instantly dead, though.
We also could play Portal Pioneer here and like go for removing a keyword, so that way... Or like healing. I will say, because of this line though, it looks like our Seraphine is like kind of just gonna have to die.
Our only way out is if we hit something off of Sputtering Song Spitter. We have literally Challenger Snack in hand. We are presenting lethal right now.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to heal up to 9 with three blockers.
It doesn't matter.
And Challenger Portal only gives it the 2, right?
Yes.
So you can block Portal King and 2 of the other Poros and go to 3 and survive.
No.
You're still
taking lethal damage.
You're at 9 because you heal your Nexus with Smooth Soloist.
You heal your Nexus with Smooth Soloist or Smooth Mixologist.
Yep.
You're at 9. Daring Poro gives us another snack. We hit.
Oh, I was talking about the attack before they played Daring Poro.
Oh, yes. Then yes, you're correct.
I mean, imagine Cap's gonna play Daring Poro here, and now it's just like can't.
Oh, double asbestos next.
Yeah, that just like seals the game for sure. Now it's like I don't think Luna's probably gonna have to go for draw here. I have to imagine.
I mean, anything but the Frostbite snack kind of just seals the deal.
Yeah. So now I guess the question becomes, will Luna just play Song Spinner right now? There's 3. The problem is Song Spinner's only giving us 2 cards. Because we don't have a way to get rid of 1 card from our hand before the next the attack comes in. Because
we have an yeah, that's true. Actually, you're right.
Yeah, we don't actually have a way to get rid of a card from our hand for Song Spinner. Gonna see the Called Shot come out.
Thread the Needle.
Thread the Needle is not going to do anything for us because none of our units are killing them. Because there's going to be double stacks coming down, so that's not helpful at all. And now we're going to see the Song Spinner. This is only giving us 2 cards.
Time Trick.
Soul Harvest isn't going to do it. Time Trick might help.
Form Up.
Hate Spike isn't going to do it either. No, these are not enough. Looks like maybe with like... Oh, but we don't have... Alright, so... Oh, I guess like Fracture with a Hate Spike will kill 1 unit. But...
It doesn't matter.
With Challenger, we're not able to block the Portal King, so it's doomed. Yeah, it's just over. Luna is gonna, unfortunately, have to take a bow after this set here.
Yeah.
So... Congratulations to CAF for taking home set 1. Oh yeah, I also forgot about Patty Portal getting overwhelmed.
I forgot about that too. I forgot about that too.
Yeah, like this here is lethal now.
Yes.
Because Luna didn't heal Nexus, unfortunately. So, but game 1. Unfortunately, we're not going to see any more Nico Nidalee this set today. But congratulations to CAF for taking home set 1.
Yeah, who does Hot Pink Cuties even send it next?
Well, that's up to them to decide, not us.
I mean, we can still theorize this.
I mean, hey, maybe we send the person whose Riot ID is Zolani against the person who's playing Zolani in their deck.
All true, the real Zolani, you're right.
Yeah.
But with that, CAF does take the set 2-0 against Lunaya in a very, very quick set. That was actually probably the quickest set we've ever had on stream, if I had to be honest.
I can't imagine. I imagine we've had faster. But that was definitely the fastest I've cast so far.
Let me rephrase it. The fastest this season.
Okay, this season I could believe. We've had some pretty long sets this season.
Yeah, we have had some pretty long sets this season. But with that, while we try to figure out who Hot Pink Cuties is sending up next, we are going to throw it to a quick break, Dragon. We will be back soon with the second match of the night. Stay tuned. We'll be back momentarily.
We will see you all soon, TM.
Soon, TM, correct.
Yes.
Welcome back, everybody. Aegis Esports, Fate's Voyage Beyond semifinals. I'm pointing in both directions because if I point in both directions, I can't be wrong, and I'm right 50% of the time, right?
Something like that, you know. Hey, you know what they say, a broken clock is right twice a day.
You know what? That is true. Semifinals, as it says right there. I don't know if people can read. I'm a card gamer. I can't read.
Nah, reading is pointless, man.
Yes.
Just throw cards at my opponent and make them react to it. That's the real way to play card games.
Exactly. Make my opponent read the card for me. But with that, we are in one set deep with Hot Pink Cuties versus Church of Targon. We saw that Lunaya lost the first set against Calf. Dragon, why don't you give us a quick recap of what happened during that match?
Sure thing, man. So game one, we saw Nico and Nidalee going up against Jinx Cannon, and both had a pretty heavy board presence early game, but Cat was able to sneak through a lot of damage after the turn after he played Jinx. He got Jinx down, had a really solid play where he went Vandal Telstones and used the pump spell to get a lot of damage through. Then he just played double. He played double blowback, and even though Luna did have the double counter spell for it, it didn't matter because the Jinx Slip got the last points of damage over the finish line and closed out the game. Game two, we saw Luna opt to go for the Seraphine set Karma deck into Poro King. Calf found Poro stacks, and it got really hard really quickly for the Sarah player. Even though we were able to recall the Poro King for the first time, didn't find an answer the second time. Board got too wide, and then it was just kind of doomed from there. Board got too wide and just too much damage getting pushed too quickly. And Calf was able to close out that game as well. So now we're going on to game two, and we have the next player from the Hot Pink Cuties coming in to face off against Calf. Why don't you tell us more about who's the new challenger is, Hirsch?
Our new challenger of the night is Ballfire. Ballfire versus Calf. Let's throw it straight into the deck list of Ballfire's decks. See what they brought this week, Dragon. With their first deck, I love this deck so much, and I will keep saying this as many times as I see it. Gnar Darius, basically the new age aggro board-based deck. Go as wide as possible, make as big, just generate as much value with Yudulski Snowdog and Omen Hawk early on because they are hard unit, or Yudulski Snowdog is a very hard unit to deal with early on if you are not a PNZ deck, but getting as much value out of that as possible, building up a big board, getting overwhelm damage to the board, doing as much damage with Red Barbed Razor Mace as well, doing 1 damage to your Nexus as long if you don't play this card, or the card it generates off the top of the, after the attack, and then just going over the top with either Battle Fury or Decisive Maneuver just to get that ending damage to get across the finish line.
Yeah, see, interesting tech here, opting for 2 Elixir of Wrath. Not a common card to see in this kind of archetype, but 1 mana for up to 3 damage is quite potent. We'll have to see if that's gonna come up at all in any of these games. Definitely makes some blocks really awkward, especially with our overwhelm units and Gnar.
Yes, and as I said earlier, Big Red Axe is actually relevant in this deck because Darius spell is in fact Decimate, so technically you do have 8 damage over the top to get you through this deck as well.
Actually, hey, technically you actually have more because the Darius copies will shuffle themselves in and you can draw on them again.
I mean, this is also true. You're correct.
Granted, I will say, if you play 3 Decimates and haven't won the game yet, I don't know what you're playing against that would survive.
This is true. But moving on to Ballfire's second deck, I imagine this is Gem? No,
You're incorrect.
I am incorrect. I had a 50-50 chance, and I still lost it. I always lose the 50-50s.
We're seeing Shyvana Morgue Elder here. So this one, so unlike Gem that we saw earlier, this one's opting, instead of opting for, a board formidables into like Galio to get a really big board that way, and opting for like the board-based, tempo-based units. Here we're opting instead to play a lot more dragons to help level our Shyvana, and you get to use some of the better dragon synergy pieces like Dragon Allegiant, Dragon Guard Lieutenant, and then we're trying to play Cloud Drake, get our dragons cheaper, get a lot of them on the board, and just try to take over the game from there. We do see some Boadir of Blackened Ice, which is a really interesting card to see show up here. 3 board space is pretty expensive. The thralls don't really synergize, but board eater does end the game quite quickly, and it can be really annoying to deal with, especially for control decks.
Yes. One thing I do want to point out about this deck is that we've seen this deck have many iterations throughout the entirety of the season. We have people going for the Dragon Boons side of this deck. We have people that, like Ballfire, opting not to go for that and just going for heavier top end cards just to be able to kind of apply more pressure to the board.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if that's gonna pay off here against what we saw from CAF, and then we have their last deck here from Ballfire, which I believe is Echo Jinx.
What if I told you were wrong?
I'd be surprised because I know it's Echo Jinx. Yeah.
So yes, Echo Jinx, a fan favorite for a while now, being able to predict as many times as possible, as many times as this deck can allow it. Honestly, this deck has so many predicts to be able to flip this Echo as soon as possible, getting the chrono breaks into the deck and be able to fish it out as fast as possible. You may hit it early on within 1 or 2, you may not see it until like 4 or 5 predicts later. We've seen it go both ways.
Yeah, I've seen this deck quite a bit the last few weeks come up. A few changes that don't see too often, like the one of Forge Chief is not that common in these lists.
Yes.
Opting to shave off a Quicksand or a Rite of Negation to make that possible. So gonna have to see if that's gonna pay off, having the extra 1 drop here. Obviously, we technically have 7 1-drops, but we really never want to see drop border in opening hand because we want to fish it out from the deck.
Yeah.
Whenever possible, but gonna have to see how that's gonna cooperate, or we're gonna see another classic triple drop border opening hand.
Yeah. We've seen so many times where drop border just happens to be in the opening hand and can't get out of it. But we've seen people be able to salvage that hand and be able to actually make it work, and it's actually kind of crazy.
Indeed.
But let us throw it to the matchup screen now, where we will briefly go over CAF's lineup again. Dragon, why don't you take this one away?
All right, CAF's got Gem with a bit of the top. Going for interesting top end with like Mihira, some Wind Singers, things like that. We have Poro King. It says Freljord on screen. That is actually Targon. We're playing Solani. We're playing some Silences. We're playing Coil Cascades. And we're just trying to go wide with a bunch of Poros. And then we're playing Jinx Cannon Burn with a lot of burn. You know, like I said, a lot of burn. We're playing blowbacks. We're playing Mystic Shots. We're playing other burn spells to try and just like get some damage, chip damage in early, and then close out the game with over the top burn. So we've got to see if that's going to work out here. So what do you think is going to be the bans here, Hirsch?
Well, I mean, I already know what the bans are, Dragon.
So you know what? Because I don't know what the bans are, because I'm not told these things. I mean, I think for CAF, I think it's probably Echo Jinx. I think that's the fastest of these decks, and that's the one that you're best chance of getting under you. Plus, Chrono Break's really annoying to deal with comparatively to other mechanics. I think you're really favored against the Shyvana deck because your decks are all pretty fast and able to get under it, and then Gem just has ways to remove the big threats that come down from other Elder Dragon decks, so not really a problem there. And then I think Darius Nar can brick a little bit early, so it could be hard to really get going with that deck sometimes, like we saw last week. Then if you're Ballfire, I think you're just banning probably Jinx Cannon. It's just a little too fast for some of the decks that you're playing.
So what is the final verdict?
I'm going to say we're going to see both Jinx decks get banned.
You're thinking we're going to see both Jinx decks get banned?
Correct. Let's see if I'm correct.
You are 50% correct, Dragon.
Gem ban. All right.
We see a gem ban on the side of CAF, and we see Echo Jinx getting banned on the side of Ballfire as well. Honestly, I think this is okay. I think we're in an okay spot with this.
I think the Shyvana deck is a better late game than... Shyvana deck should win the late game. I will say, I'm actually a bit worried about the Poro matchup because they actually can beat you in the late game with Solani. You don't have a good answer to that. But, you know, Gem also is just really difficult for you to out mid-range with that deck, so I can understand that. And you just hope that you can get through them early game and hope that they just don't know what a Poro Snacks is.
Don't know what a Poro Snacks is. What is it, Poro Snacks? Did we even see Poro Snack at Worlds?
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
No, I still feel really bad for that game because of like how awful he drew. If he drew a single Poro Snack, he probably won.
He had an Aurora Borealis in starting hand, and he decided not to take it. He decided not to take it. Yeah.
Didn't he play a 2/2 Zolani later in the game?
He played a non-buff Zolani. You are correct.
All right.
I remember that. Every feedback I got from the after party at Worlds, they said I asked them what was their favorite moment from the stream. They said their favorite moment of the stream is when the caster asked, "How far is Alani on the buff train?" And we flashed it, and it was 0 out of 0.
Well, we're going to see that's going to be the case this time. Who do you think is going to be showing up first for these decks here, Hirsch? What do you think Cap's going to throw?
What I think Cap is going to throw? I think Cap is probably either going to throw Poro King or Jinx Cannon.
Wow, how insightful.
No, if I'm being honest, I think honestly, Cap is probably going to send out the Poro King first.
Interesting. I think Ballfire is going to send out Nardarius. I think it has the better chance to win of the two decks he's brought. He go a lot more aggressive, and yeah,
I could agree with that. The reason why I say Cap is playing the Poro King deck, not because I did see it. I'm not cheating, I swear. It just makes more sense to me because I feel like Poro King is very solid into both of these decks. It's more solid into Narius if we're able to find our Poro Snacks early, and it's the same thing that goes with this deck as well if we're able to scale early. But Cap is looking a bit light on his hand right now. We do have one Poro, we do have one Poro Snacks, but that's not going to be enough.
Yeah, Cap's hand is not looking too aggressive here. And, you know, blocking Badger Bear in the early game will be bigger than all of these Poros. And with a strike spell in hand can help to deal with some of the things that come up. However, the rest of his hand doesn't look like it's doing anything. We have 4 6-drops in hand. And we would like to play cards before turn 6. Oh, and hey, you know what? Ballfire's deck heard our pleas, and there's a 12-drop now instead.
There's a lot of multiples of 3 in this hand right now.
Yep.
There's even more.
Boy. I think we're seeing a strafing strike here from Ballfire, not because it's the best thing he can do, it's because it's the only thing he can do.
No way, bro. Let's be real. He's not gonna sack his. Oh, I also didn't notice that we also have Protoporo. Or is it Protoporo? No, it's not Protoporo. It's
Poro prototype, something like that.
Prototype Poro?
Something like that, yeah. I will say, on the bright side for Ballfire, Cat doesn't have much going on. However, Poro King's spell actually is gonna be pretty big here because it draws us Poros. I think
it draws us.
Oh, no swing from Calf at all.
I like the respect. I like the respect of this, but
oh, no.
but hold on. Poro King spell draws us 2 or 3 Poros, and it also buffs them as well.
Yeah, Calf's gonna have a really nuts turn 6. Ballfire has gotten really lucky that the Calf has not done much, but Calf's gonna have a really big turn 6, and then Ballfire still is only gonna have 1 card he can play as a response, and the Spitfire card is probably not going to be able to kill anything before we can start playing Poro Snacks from this Poro King.
So the only thing that makes this very, very awkward is if we draw, or actually if we only draw Plucky Poro and Prototype Poro. And there's also a chance that we could draw a Poro King off of this as well.
Yeah, we do see a Daring Poro come out. That's good.
So that's 4.
Yeah.
I don't think we definitely don't need to rip the Poro King spell now.
Yeah. Oh, we could also see like I was gonna say we could see the 6 drop come down here. We're gonna see a Cloud Dragon come down. Ooh, given Deathless. Deathless is pretty big.
Yeah, Deathless is really big for this card, especially if we're able to slay it, but we're not really able to get it off the board as fast as we want to.
I mean, hey, we could throw in front of Poro King. Just ignore that there's double Hush in hand to stop the Deathless part from actually triggering.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see the draw here, getting us Challenger Poro. That's pretty big. That can get make sure we can drag either the elusive blocker or the Cloud Dragon out of the way. Honestly, probably you're dragging the Cloud Dragon, I have to imagine.
Yes, you're 100% dragging this Cloud Dragon out of the way just to be able to get this Poro King do swing in, but it is still very dangerous.
Ooh, or we're gonna opt not to.
I mean, that's perfectly fine as well.
Mm-hmm. However, now we get a lot of value from this Cloud Dragon here, as we get to go Strafing Strike to kill one of the elusives, and we get to block one of the ground units. And all right, so yeah, gonna think better of that. Gonna take this block, and now we're gonna do this instead.
So now Strafing Strike is going to hit this Poro King.
Most likely. I'd imagine we're going to see the Strafing Strike on the Poro King, probably see the Prototype Poro or the Impact Poro die here. So the good news is that Hush will not save Poro King, it'll stop the Deathless. But the question is Ballfire scared of Pale Cascade? Because Pale Cascade would mean the Poro King survives, and then you're like at 1 HP, which is not where you want to be, especially with an Impact Poro. So we could see like potentially like going after one of the other Poros instead to try and, you won't be able to kill them, but you'll be able to say guaranteed. You won't be able to kill the Poro King that you want to get off the board, but you're going to be able to guarantee that you're taking out a priority target.
Yes.
Or well, save some HP anyways, at least.
You see Ballfire trying to decide what he wants to do with these blocks.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to Strafing Strike this Poro King. You just have to.
Yeah. Because I mean, I will say if it fails, you instantly lose the game, because then you're like dying to just the Impact Poro next turn. And it's like super bad. To be fair, his hand's been not helpful. Fortunately, he's gonna get rid of the Poro King here, which would be a huge help to him. Unfortunately, the second Poro King in hand. And however, there's not another Poro to proc it, which is good at least. But another thing is we're not getting rid of the Challenger Poro, so that's gonna be sticking around.
I mean, we're going to be discounting our hand insanely low next turn.
That's true. Oh wait, we didn't Hush the unit, so that's actually really big. I believe that lets us play double Cloud Dragon next turn.
That's what I mean. We're discounting our hand a ton right now.
Like Calf not silencing that is going to come back to haunt him for sure when he sees his double Cloud Dragon come down.
I mean, he can't. There's no way you're playing around double Cloud Drake, right?
No, I guess like the reason could be like Hushing could have been good though, because like it means you're not gonna. Ballfire has not played much, so he's playing a pretty expensive hand. So just trying to slow that down a little bit could have been helpful. I will say we will see come down here another Poro Snacks top deck, which is absolutely massive with the Poro King in our hand. Could be pretty big.
The fact that we have double Daring Poro in hand is actually kind of over.
Yeah. I will say there, Ballfire does have double rally potential next turn as well. Oh, Challenger's pretty nice here.
Yeah.
Because that lets us actually go after one of the elusive Poros.
Yes. Or a Poro King.
Poro King's gonna get +1/+1 for 3 levels here.
I mean, true.
I can't imagine we're gonna go after that. So we get to go Challenger here to kill the elusive. Actually, so it's either we're killing either the elusive, or we could also be killing the Impact Poro, because that 1 damage could matter, unironically. But instead, Ballfire is just gonna pass. But yeah, another thing we're not talking about is like these Poros are going to become 5/5s next turn at least. If we don't see another Poros next, they're going to start trading here. Oh, actually no, because we didn't trigger the Poro King this turn. They're going to be 6/6s next turn. They will trade with our dragons.
Yeah, the fact that we just played another... I honestly think we should have played Plucky Poro instead. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter either way, I guess.
Yeah, we do have double Challenger Poro, which is pretty big.
Yeah. Ooh, Poro sled 2.
Yeah. But I believe this is just lethal right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That is just straight lethal.
Yep. And there's no strike spell in Ballfire's hand to save him here. Even if this gives us healing, double Challenger is going to mean we just drag the elusive blocker out of the way. We're getting in lethal with just the Poros that have elusive.
Yeah.
And not to mention, everything gets impact. That's going to be 6 damage from impact. 6 damage from each elusive here. It's looking pretty over.
Oh yeah, there's something that can be done to stop this.
Yep. Yeah, Ballfire's hand was just way too slow this game to deal with this.
Yeah, 100%. It was really awkward of a hand.
Yeah, and honestly, Calf got really bailed out by his top decks there. Especially like getting the Poro stories, just give him the board of Poros was really big.
You see Cat figuring out, trying to play around any other interaction spells there can be in the opponent's hand.
Yep.
But man, like I told you, if this deck is able to basically pull out snacks really early on, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, like Captain's had an early snacks, and yeah, Cap had the early snacks, and then the managed to find enough Poros to back it up. Just nothing Ballfire could do. To be fair, I think Ballfire would have loved to have been able to play a card on turn 4 or 5, but
what do you mean? We played a card on turn 3. What, isn't that good enough?
No. It was not. Not even going to reveal that there is also another snacks to give everything impact. Didn't want to demoralize him that much. Yeah, we're going to see Team 1 taken here.
And now you see the Jinx cannon coming back up, having to get through Elder Dragon, Shyvana, Morgana, which is going to be really, really tough for that deck.
Yeah, I will say, like, that deck will get heavily outscaled. And honestly, I think if Ballfire finds Morgana, he's probably good to go. Because that, like, extra healing, stopping an attacker, like, all those things would be really important for him. Yeah. And his has a much, much, much better hand this game.
Yeah, you kick
yeah, like you kicked in Rage Fire Spitter. Like you have Scarlet Pioneer, which gives you healing that you really want. You have Broadwing, and you can go Broadwing into Pioneer and just like make it so there's nothing on board that's gonna survive.
We have so much board control right now, just with having 2 Challenger units in hand. And
then we also have Shyvana with even token to push a lot of damage.
We decided to keep the Enraged Fire Spitter, which is actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, I would have not have imagined we'd have chosen that. I would have loved to look for like one more early unit. I don't think we really need that later game card, but you know. Let's see the Broadwing come down here.
Do you see that the chime hit the squeaker, which is actually going to be a little bit massive?
Yeah. 2/3 squeaker is pretty nice because that means it won't die to Pioneer, and it's going to get bigger and bigger as the game goes.
Oh yeah.
Plus, Squeaker's going to be able to discard this Flame Chompers to pull something out of the way. So we can either see a Scarly Pioneer here, or we could see blocking Badger Bear. What do you think you would prefer to see here, Hirsch?
I'm blocking Badger Bear.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. Badger Bear trades with it, kills everything here and survives, and then we can play Pioneer next turn and then still have enough mana to play the healing card. Plus, it's not going to be damaged, so it wouldn't die to Electro Harpoon.
Yeah, 100%. But Calf is just able to go 6 or 5 wide this turn, which is actually really difficult.
Ooh, yeah, let's go 5 wide.
Yeah, and we also pick up a Fury Horn and Crasher just to kind of be able to match this deck's high-end stats.
Yep. I imagine we're going to pull the blocking Badger Bear and force the Broadwing to block, so that way it's not going to be as potent of a threat. Yep. Hey, we're still pushing 6 damage. I will say, though, the Morgana we talked about earlier is in hand for Ballfire, which is very big.
Yeah, just be like, this deck is absolutely allergic to the keyword lifesteal.
Yep. And there's not a good answer to Morgana in Calf's hand. Like, sure, we can go blowback into Electro Harpoon, but that's 5 cards we'd have to get rid of to answer it. And that's not really what we want to be doing. Ooh, we're going to opt to open here. I don't know if I like this, because that opens up, that makes the Jinx a lot safer here.
And we do see the Scholarly Pioneer coming down just to get a little bit more value out of this board. Picking up Scholarly, or is it Pioneer Refreshment? It's refreshment. It's refreshment.
I will say that also could be good. It all makes this Fury and Crasher and Jinx play a lot worse, because now if you drop them, you could heal the Broadwing and kill them. So instead, opting to just remove the Broadwing entirely right now, which I think makes sense.
Yeah, I 100% agree that does make sense. Doing that and just playing the Fury Horn Crasher, opening us up for still 12 points of damage in the hand.
Yep. Guys, Jinx's Get Excited is available here, which is pretty big as well. So, it's not a card you're always expecting to play around, because Get Excited is not in standard, but
yeah, exactly.
Opting to just take the open here, get the guaranteed damage in.
8 damage or 7 damage left on the Nexus. Still not enough for lethal.
Yep, we're gonna see Morgana coming down here, and this is where things are getting a lot more difficult for Calf, because now you have the refreshments and Morgana swings that can come in. That's gonna be able to push a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But we're gonna see the pass here from Ballfire. Is Calf gonna take this, or is he gonna try to spend his mana to play Jinx or play the Curse? Decides not to do either.
I would have liked to play the Jinx, honestly.
Yeah, or maybe the Curse, because one thing about the Curse is you can't discard the Curse to anything, so it messes with your Jinx level up a little bit. You can't flip Jinx at burst speed with the Curse is in hand.
I mean, you can flip Jinx at burst speed with the Curse in hand.
No, you can't. You can't discard it, and it's focus speed.
But it's
so they go for removal on the stack. They go for removal on the stack for your Jinx. You can't flip her.
Yeah, you're right, but
I'll actually kill your unit with it on the stack, which I don't think you really are interested in doing.
I mean, we can pie toss it.
True. Calf's gonna opt to open attack. This is gonna be basically guaranteed. Oh, we're gonna see the pie toss of his own unit here to deny the lifesteal. But we also see now from Ballfire, we see a strafing strike, which will be a way to remove a unit if it comes down. Jinx cannot flip. Yeah, this Curse is pretty big here though, because now we can't play Jinx and flip her with a blowback right now, for example.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit awkward here for what Calf wants to be doing. Also, he is down to 9 HP. He probably dies on the next swing from Ballfire, so the clock is ticking.
I mean, we're sitting at 4 points of burn in Ballfire's hand right now.
Yep. Oh, he's going to opt to kill his baboon to get rid of the Curse as well.
Ooh, this is going to bite him. Yeah, in order to make this work, you have to take the end round.
Yep. Because now you can go Jinx into blowback, and then hope for lethal to come in.
You basically had to say they don't have interaction.
Yep. But we can see Ballfire's hand. We can see that there's interaction. I will say, if Ballfire tries to use the Morgana to hit face, that will to kill Jinx. It won't work because of level up in response, which could be good for Calf because then you can like play the rocket and go and like try to sneak in some damage, but there's gonna be blockers coming down. We'll probably see Dragon come down in response to a Jinx. I think you're just like forced to go for Jinx here.
Yeah.
If you play Baboon, do you have enough for Jinx? You have enough for Jinx and Blowback. We don't have enough to do both of them and Rocket, and I don't think you kind of need to have Rocket to have a chance.
I mean, oh, that's actually a buff Jinx. I didn't know that. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
That actually changes everything right now.
Yeah, and range fire speed is going to come down though. When this is Ocean Soul, it's like super game over. It is not Ocean Soul.
So this now puts Jinx into strafing strike range.
Yes, and importantly, Morgana can now kill this Jinx, which definitely will matter. Because I think you want to use Morgana to kill this so you can get the lifesteal off. Because like that 3 HP is just stealing the deal for sure. I think Calf is just not going to have enough damage to finish this one off. Ballfire had a much stronger start to this game, and that really helped him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it turns out when you can play more than one card before turn 6, you have a better chance against the early game tech.
This is just such an awkward spot now. Like, we're 1 mana off. If we had 1 mana, we were able to salvage this game, but it's really hard.
Yeah, like, if Calf just passes here, he's dead. So he kind of has to force the blowback here on the stack. Oh, but he's not gonna go for it. And now it's like, okay.
He's basically saying that you don't have any interaction in hand, which honestly is not a bad thing to do.
That's fair.
But it's
Also, to be fair, this Jinx is like kind of able to attack decently well here. Like they'd have to have a form up, and then you could respond to that where they get excited. And then if they had single combat, you'd try, but they'd have to have 2. That's 2 cards then.
yeah.
It's like you're also at 7, so you really don't want them to be able to attack next turn with everything. So that will be devastating. But I think we're going to see here is probably the strafing. I'd have to imagine the strafing strike's going to have to come down from Ballfire.
I mean, Ballfire doesn't have to do anything right now.
Yeah, but he's going to go for the strafing strike here.
And that is basically going to spell the end for... actually, does it? I don't think it really spells the end.
It doesn't spell the end. We have the ability to survive next turn right now. Because right now we're at 1 if they open attack.
Yeah.
Actually, we're at more because we can play blowback onto the 4-1 and survive. So Ballfire will have to develop. But now the problem is we're looking at an opponent with 10 HP. And they have Challenger, so this is really hard to play Jinx before combat, and we want to use her as a win condition.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're going to play blowback here, but we're only going to get 2 damage off instead of 3. So that's like 1 less burn we have to work with as well. However, this does mean it's likely to be able to drop Jinx leveled next turn. It's very likely.
So, I mean, Ballfire...
Honestly, we could try and go for attack here. Maybe even push 3 damage. Like, try to go, like, Mystic Shot Jinx top deck and try for the win.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's possible. Yeah. It's doable.
And he's going for it here. Yeah, it makes sense. I will say it gets completely blown out by second Dragon in hand because Dragon just kills the 3-2 and then... like they heal Nexus and then Dragon kills the 3-2 and then you... Oh, I actually got it too. Oh, wow. If he like... Oh, wow. That's so sad. If he had like... Yeah, unfortunately, Caps does not have enough HP to survive this.
Yeah, no.
He did get exactly what he needed to actually win this game. Because he's gonna play Jinx and hope his opponent like puts something on the stack for some unknown reason. But I can't imagine that's gonna be the case.
No, you just never disrespect that.
No.
Like, there's no card in the game that basically, or in Cap's deck that is able to stop this.
Nope.
This Cap showing that, hey, if you would have given me the action, I would have had lethal.
Yeah, and you know, Cap just needed a little bit more HP. He would have had it too.
Yeah, it was really, really close.
Yeah. But hey, good job on Ballfire. So,
taking this set to now a 1-1 set.
yeah, Cap's not going to get through this undefeated. He has suffered his first game loss. And let's see if Ballfire can hand him his second and say we're moving on to the next guy.
So this is where it can get very, very interesting. If if Ballfire somehow just manages to brick their hand, it actually is a very miserable matchup.
Yeah, I can imagine that being the case. I also like you play dog on 2. I think you're super. Oh well, you know I think Ballfire likes his hand a lot.
Yep. Honestly, Ballfire is in a very, very comfortable spot right now.
Yeah.
Like this deck is so strong. I think this deck just beats out Jinx Cannon very hard. We see a very solid opening hand from the side of Ballfire, but really not the most optimal opening hand from the side of Calf.
Yeah, I will say, I think if as Calf, you're happy to trade off your 1-drop to kill their pigeons. Pigeons can be pretty annoying for your deck to deal with. I imagine Ballfire's playing dog here.
Yeah,
that just like kind of stops his attack entirely. Makes you pretty, and then like you probably. Do you see the open attack here from Ballfire, or do you develop the 4-3?
You develop the 4-3.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You develop the Iron Ballista 100% of the time. There's no real punishment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you can go spear onto your Boom Baboon and then play a squeaker or something, but even if you choose to block and kill the Ballista, you're still taking 3 damage from it.
Yeah, it's still not a good value trade for us.
No. I imagine we're probably going to see Squeaker here because we can look for like Bouncer and Bolt, but we don't find it. Not sure which one of these is the best choice here, honestly.
I mean, if we're able to get this board to stick Trumpet Tecker, it's still fine, but we're obviously going to go for Geode now.
Yep.
Ballfire going out. Oh, you know what? This actually changes everything.
Yeah, because now you can't kill the like if you had like blocked and played Geode, you could have like maybe gone for like a play with like buffing your 0-2.
Yeah, and we're sitting on a 2-2 Omen Hawk now.
Yep. Did you Omen Hawk will still die to whatever it's called? Oh, actually, wait. Now we can still kill it actually because of the spear onto our guy.
Yeah. If we do play Spear, we can do one of two things. We can save one extra HP by putting Spear onto Squeaker. Squeaker will be put over to a 3-2. Or we could just take the 3-1 and take an extra point of damage.
Yep.
Either is perfectly fine. But we're going to be developing 2 threats now.
Although, honestly, we don't need to put the spear on Squeaker because we just played a created card already, so we could put the spear on something else.
Correct.
The big thing, though, is now Ballfire really doesn't want to play either of these 2 drops because they both die for free to this... these will both die for free to our Challenger unit. Yeah, however, the other side is then we get to kill the Geo for free with our 4-3. So.
Yes, but I think we're perfectly fine with that, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're just going to look to pull this Ruthless Raider out.
Oh, we're going to not opt to buff our dude.
It doesn't matter because we get another one.
Yeah, it doesn't mean our Squeaker doesn't get buffed here, but... having the extra unit probably matters more, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah, taking this huge value trade for us right now early on is actually kind of massive for the side of Calf.
Yeah. Is going to opt to kill the challenge, the overwhelm unit. Probably going to see 2 blocks come down here.
Yeah.
Yep. Solid trades all around. I'm going to imagine we're probably going to see either Gnar come out or the unit on top if it's buffed enough, depending on what it is.
It's
Glacial Saurian.
But the Saurian is not turned on.
Yes, so I'd imagine we probably want to say Gnar, but instead we're going to say, you know what? 7/6 with Overwhelm is good enough. And to be fair, there was a blowback in hand to answer a Gnar, so this is, I think, the better choice.
I agree.
I imagine the 4/3 with Tough is probably the best play here because it's going to block the most damage and put it into blowback range for future. That's still a lot of damage potential we're going to see here.
I'm honestly perfectly okay with just going wide. I'm okay with taking this 11 damage. This deck has really no reach until a Darius comes down. And I mean, if we don't see a Darius, we're perfectly fine, right?
Right. Will Ballfire opt for saving a damage to kill the 4/2?
So here is our most optimal line here. We just take this whole damage, we play the Squeaker, we throw away the spear and hope for a 2-drop, which we do. We get Bouncer and Bolt. That actually is massive for us.
We have Bouncer and Bolt, or we could go for Trumpet Tecker next turn as well and buff our entire board. Both those I think are solid options.
I want to get this board going as much as possible, but I mean, Trumpet Tecker does end up pushing a little bit more damage, which is still fine.
Yeah, Trumpet Tecker will buff our entire board, and this Mystic Shot as well is really helpful. This does give Ballfire a chance to play a blocker here, which I imagine he will opt to do. Gonna play a 6/6, so neither of his big overwhelmed units can die right now. However, they will both die to the burn spells in Calf's hand. However, there's a Battle Fury in hand that'll change that equation.
So we are pushing 10 damage right now. We have lethal. Yeah, we have lethal.
Wow, we do.
Actually, Calf actually just wins. Holy.
Calf's got it, yeah.
So Trumpet Tecker actually was the correct call here.
Yeah, it's gonna come in big here. Yeah, because you have Bouncer and Bolt. You get 1 extra unit through, but they're all 2/1s. So you actually only push 1 less damage, and that 1 point of damage would have mattered a lot.
No, we're not pushing 1 less damage. We're pushing 3 less damage. Because we don't get these extra 2/1s to be able to swing in for 3 damage instead, right?
No, we get 1 extra 2/1 in, but we get
Yes, actually you're right.
Yep, and we're gonna see here Ballfire just too slow, and Calf's gonna squeak out the win here.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Get it, Squeaker?
Yeah. So Calf just finds the perfect lethal there at the end and brings us to match point already for Church of Targon.
I just want to point out the stream started almost an hour and 20 minutes ago, and we're already at match 3. This set is going by extremely fast.
I will say, Calf is very fast decks that he's playing.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
And also he didn't lose with them. That's another thing.
So with that, we are going to send it to a quick 5-minute break where we will see if Kasai can pull off the reverse sweep dragon.
All right, we'll see you then.
We'll see you in about 5 minutes, guys. Stay with us.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Aegis Esports Fates Voyage Beyond.
Indeed. We are beyond the voyage.
We are beyond the voyage. How far beyond the voyage? Well, it's like Bed Bath & Beyond. We're in the Beyond section.
Indeed.
Props if you actually know that reference. But
I'm sure it'll click soon for some of them.
no, it might not click with them. But
Yeah.
but with that, semifinals, we are in the third and possibly the last match with Chip versus UWU. We have do or die. Kasai has to reverse sweep in order to guarantee the team's spot in finals.
You know
Dragon.
what? I'm sure Kasai likes those odds, though. I'm sure Kasai's got this. No pressure at all for Kasai.
So, for those of you who just tuned in, Dragon, give them a recap of what we just witnessed last match.
All right. So, game one, we saw Poros go up against. We saw Poros come out. Oh, God. We saw Poros come out from CAF up against Ballfire's Elder Dragon Morgana Shyvana deck. And he found. Ballfire managed to find a way to not have a playable unit other than a single blocking Badger Bear before turn 6. And despite his best efforts, he was not able to deal with CAF just actually having playable cards before then, and kind of died. Game 2, he actually drew cards that he could play before that point in time. Up against Jinx Cannon, he found Morgana as well to give back some HP, and he found enough healing to be able to sustain his way through the game and close that one out. And then game 3, Darius Nar versus Jinx Cannon. CAF took a bold line where he went to 5, not blocking any of the damage, managed to find a Trumpet Tecker to buff up his board, and just barely got the exact lethal he needed to close out the game. And with that, he was able to win the series.
Yeah. And like I said, the odds are in Kasai's favor right now, as we hope. We always hope for always a 3-2 set here on stream.
Exactly.
We've never had a match on stream where it never was a 3-2 set, right, Dragon?
Oh, not this season.
What do you mean this season?
I think we've had some non-3-2s in the past.
I'm talking about on stream.
Yeah, on stream. I don't think we've had some non-3-2s in the past on stream as well.
Nah, there's no way. Ain't no way. Even if you threw it in my face, I'd say, you know what, this is fake. This is not us. This is
not the Aegis Esports brand I know and love.
This is not the Aegis Esports I know and love and have helped develop. Nope, this is not what I signed up for. But with that, we are throwing it into Kasai's deck list. Let's get into the deck review, Dragon. We have Ash LeBlanc showing up for the side of Kasai. A very, very loved deck by me and maybe 3 other people in the community.
Hey, Ash LeBlanc is a good old legacy deck that's been seeing. This deck is almost as old as Runeterra itself. It's seen obviously in the past it used to play Sejuani before LeBlanc came out. But ever since LeBlanc came out, it's been ubiquitous with this deck. It's seen many changes over the years with new cards coming in and out. Here we see. There's not too many early plays, and that could be a problem against CAF's very aggressive deck. We only have Omen Hawks and Sled Dogs that can block early. Sure, we have Glory Seekers, but trading a Glory Seeker for a Squeaker is not the best trade in the world.
No.
And this deck is definitely at risk of getting run over by some early aggression, but solid mid-range plan. It could be really good against other Elder Dragon decks, for example. Get to see how that plays out.
Yeah. This deck has been all over the place. This deck has been on release bad. It's been good. It's been bad, and it's been good. It can't catch a win. It's either good or it's not good.
It depends on how good Demacia is, but then again, Demacia's gotten formidable, which is this deck's worst nightmare. So
yes. So moving on to Kasai's deck 2, we have Gem. Honestly, I don't see any difference from any of the other lists we've seen tonight, Dragon. Do you spot any differences?
I think the one difference I see is that we're playing 2 Windsingers and 2 Duran Sculptors instead of the 1-3 the other list is playing. And I think it's another 1 card difference in the other slot. But other than that, it's pretty standard. Not too much is different here.
Yeah, I don't think there's actually a standard version of this list. This deck is like all over the place. Like, you can cycle in whatever you want. You can tech in however you want. It's basically a user choice deck.
Yeah, I will say, I think Cav's deck is a bit more tailored to the mirror with more of the top end cards like Windsinger and Mahira to like answer what's going on. But I think Kasai's still got a pretty solid deck to fight off against the mirror as well.
Yes, I agree. Moving on to the third and final deck of the night is this Shen J4. It is Shen J4 Dragon.
Shen J4 making a comeback here. We saw this deck last week, didn't perform too well, but getting another chance here. You've got, the moral supports and the Spirit's Refuge and all the barrier stuff. We have triple Sacred Protector, and this time we're opting for a single sign-in over King J4. Or King J3 is our top end card that we're playing. So no J4 boat this time around. But let's see if this deck we're seeing here is going to line up. And hey, you know what? Bright Steel Protector's coming in here as well. It's a card I have not seen for a long time, ever since it got nerfed from a 3-2 to a 2-1. It was a very brutal nerf, and happy to see the card come back a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very happy to see this card come back too. It's a very nifty card in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it got nerfed way too harshly back in the day, but Riot has shown no interest in bringing it back to anywhere close to its former glory, not even as a 3-1. So yeah. Here it rests as a 2-1, and here we'll have to see if it's going to make a difference.
Yep, and with that, let's throw it back to the matchup screen where we can go over Caf's decks once again very quickly. We have Gem on the side of Caf. We have Poro King, not Freljord, but Targon, and we have Jinx Cannon Dragon. Dragon, what are we thinking for bans?
I think this is between Jinx. If you're a Kasai, you're going between Jinx Cannon and Poro King for sure. Jinx Cannon is a lot more burn to deal with, but Poro just will outstat you eventually in the late game, which can be a little bit difficult to deal with. So that decides what he wants to do with that. I'm not entirely sure which one I'd go with. I'd probably opt for the Poro King because you can win the board against Jinx Cannon and try to get some early game cards to deal with it, but it's still an uphill battle. I think you definitely have the best chance against the other gem lists because you have a lot of decks that play the board versus their deck, and your deck cheats in different ways that they're not easily able to answer.
So real quick of a sidetrack, I do want to throw out there that our other side of the bracket, BKB versus ABAT, they're also in game 3 right now, or set 3.
Yeah, but what's their score?
BKB is 2-0 over ABAT right now.
Hey, we might have a fast day ahead of us. We might have how these next few games go.
We might have actually. I'm losing my mind because of how fast everything is going. We might actually have a fast day upon us, Dragon.
Maybe. And then, what do you think is going to be the Caf's going to ban from Kasai here?
If I was Caf, probably either Shen J4 or Gem, but probably Shen J4.
Yeah. I will say, the Spirit's Refuge gives Shen J4 a deceptive amount of healing, which can be annoying for Jinx Cannon to deal with.
Oh, 100%.
And also, just the barriers is really hard for your gem deck to deal with as well, because you're not playing you're only playing Gentleman's Duel to pop the barriers, really, and even to pop your barriers, you still have to strike them, which is you don't want to strike them outside of combat. So it's pretty good for going against other Demacia decks. I think Shen J4 makes the most sense indeed.
Yeah, Shen J4 does make more sense. But on the side of Kasai, I think you're honestly banning Jinx Cannon. You have to, right?
Yeah, I think it's just... I think it's mainly... I think it makes the sense. I will say, Ash the Blancs have a hard time against Jinx Cannon and Poro King. I honestly think Shen J4 probably has a better chance against Jinx Cannon than Poro King, but you expect that deck to get banned, and I think Gem is still going to have trouble with both of these decks. So... Yeah, I honestly think I still think you struggle more with Poro King versus Jinx Cannon though, because the portals just get so big that they overwhelm you.
Yeah. So while we are killing some time waiting for one of the players to give us their bans as well, I know one of them. I'm not going to spoil it. Sucks to be you, Dragon, but
does indeed.
But let us talk a little bit more about this new expansion coming up. Who do you think is your favorite champion so far that's been revealed?
I think my favorite champion so far has been Lily. I think that she came out today because she lets you double up on summoning effects a lot easier because you can sleep the unit to obliterate it, make a copy of it. It's essentially, if anyone's ever played with Ancient Hourglass, it's essentially sleep is essentially that, except it puts attachments it puts like attachments like your equipment and your attached units into hand, so you don't get them obliterated like you would with Hourglass. And then it summons them next round. Unless your Lily is leveled, then it summons them immediately. So like I think that's really strong. I think that's like really helpful for sure. And there's some really fun shenanigans you can do with that sort of mechanic. Like there's some really strong summon effects that you can like double up on. Like even from her own package, for example, there's a follower that grants +1/+1 to cards everywhere. Like just doubling up on that can be really good. It is balanced around the fact that it's slow speed, and so it's like, you know, disruptible by removal, things like that. And the unit is obliterated until the next turn, so if you like do it when your opponent's like developing an attack, it's like, all right, good luck, men.
Yeah.
We're gonna see the bans here. Jinx Cannon's gonna be the ban. Size of the burn's a little bit too much for the decks to deal with. That makes sense. But we're gonna see Gem banned instead of Shen J4. You're gonna have to see if that's gonna come back to bite Calf maybe. Or he thinks he can handle that deck just fine.
Yeah. So there's a right answer and there's actually a wrong answer. Which deck are we queuing up first, Dragon?
I think if you're Kasai, it has to be Shen J4 because I think it has a really good matchup here into Gem, and it should still do okay into Poro King because Poro King doesn't like Poro King has hushes, which is be really annoying for you to deal with for silences. But other than exactly those like 3 cards, it can't actually pop your barriers that easily, so you can kind of like try to survive a little bit against them early game or like later on into the game. Also, you have like no shot against Solani if you see that card come down like as a 16/16. What do you think will be the pick from Calf here?
Honestly, I do think that for once in my life, I think this is honestly a coin flip. Like Kasaya has a very solid choice here, but I think for Calf, it's kind of a coin flip. It can go either way here.
I would imagine Poros. I just think Poros is the better matchup into both of these decks.
Possibly. I don't know the matchup between these two. I think it does fine.
Oh, I haven't looked at the matchup table in this game for months. I don't know what the matchups actually are. I'm just going by gut here. I'm sure chat will tell me I'm wrong about at least one of the matchups I have predicted here. Where I imagine Poro King is favored here against both. Shen J4 is favored against Gem. After blocks even-ish to favored against Gem, and Poro's cries.
Yeah, if we're just...
it cries against Poros unless they like pull a Shenya.
Now we're just waiting on the players to get into their match. They're going through their ban phase, figuring out which deck they're going to ban.
Don't you mean which deck they're going to pick?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, it's been a very, very long day.
I understand, sir. It do be like that. What's your favorite champion revealed so far, Hirsch? I said mine was Lilia.
Honestly, I don't really have a favorite one right now. I think Lilia seems the most interesting, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite.
Yeah. To be fair, we're only 4 days into the reveal season, and there's a decent chance we're going to see more champions. But I got to cut that short because we're going to see Ashe LeBlanc versus Gem. Wow, I'm really good at predicting decks because I got both wrong.
I mean, me too. I guess Kasai is like saying, you know what, this deck has the weakest matchup. You know what, let's try to get a win out of it first. If I get a win out of it first, then I'm probably golden throughout the rest of the day.
Yep, and you know, Kasai gets a turn 1 Omen Hawk, which is pretty solid, all things considered, and Calf is a really slow hand outside of this Broadwing. But on the other hand, Kasai doesn't have a much better hand to go along with it.
Yeah, no.
Like, are you ready to see the coveted turn 3 pass? Oh no, but we see a Badger Bear come down here.
I'm ready for the Covenant turn 3 pass develop, Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna see blocking. Oh, we're gonna see nothing.
We are gonna see the Covenant pass. You're right.
Yep. Now the question is, do we play Ash or Cook here?
We do play Combat Cook here, 100%.
Yeah. The weapon we get is
whack.
Overwhelm. Yeah, we see Overwhelm weapon here.
Still not really seeing a whole lot right now. I'm surprised we're not swinging with this blocking Badger Bear. I think swinging with this blocking Badger Bear is actually correct here.
Yeah, and we're also not really seeing... Oh, we see a Gentleman's Duel. That's pretty big. We're going to see a Sarion here, which is pretty big. It's going to draw us a card, give us more buffs in our deck.
Give us another Combat Cook.
Yep. But the downside here is that we're going to see a buff onto the Broadwing here. So it trades with the Glacial Sarion. We're going to commit pre-combat. I will say, I'm a bit surprised we didn't see a spear come down on our Sarion. I guess we want to save mana to be able to go a second Sarion next turn into Bloody Business, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Calf here also gets the opportunity to just not block here, and then next turn his Broadwing will be a 0/7. But it looks like he's gonna opt for the trade. The awkward here thing for Calf is also he just doesn't have a follow-up play to this either. And he's kind of gonna be playing catch-up because he's gonna I don't know, you don't want to play Hound here, I don't think, but yeah.
The open pass.
I mean, I think if you're Kasai, you're probably thinking this is going to be a dragon. I don't think you can really afford to pass back.
I don't think so either. Pot of Pain, Pana Pain. Obviously go for Pot of Pain.
Yeah, 5/6 is pretty big.
But it's okay, we rolled tough.
5 still dies. But if we see a Bloody Business here, we can Gentleman's Duel and get the trade in.
I don't think we're ever going to see a Bloody Business here.
Yeah, me neither. I think Kasai is probably just going to take this pass here and call it a day.
So we are at turn 6. No clear person who's really ahead in board tempo right now, but this.
I will say, Calf's gotten through the early game, and I think he has much stronger drops the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, but I will say that's a very strong card Kasai just got there with the Glory Seeker.
Yeah.
That also was a buffed Glory Seeker as well. And we can give it the Overwhelm weapon to make it even bigger and go after this 7/7. This would tap us out below Bloody Business, but honestly, I don't think we want to let Calf preserve this board going into next turn. Oh, it's a 7/3 Glory Seeker. Even better.
I mean, it's still going to get met with...
Yeah, but now it doesn't matter what unit you use for Gentleman's Duel, it's going to kill it. Whereas before, you could have used your Dragon to actually Gentleman's Duel and save it.
Yeah.
Now even Galio doesn't survive.
But it's okay. We're fine throwing away Petricide Hound, honestly.
Oh, but we're gonna actually go after the Galio here.
So do we just let this go through and just say, hey Galio, rebuff my board?
We could, and then honestly, Galio's really close to leveling at that point and kind of can't die.
I'm honestly okay with this because Galio becomes a 0/3. Yeah, I like this line a lot.
Yeah, plus now Hound is really difficult to interact with for our opponent.
Galio does not buff himself. Interesting.
No, Galio's every other unit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like honestly, yeah, like this Hound is super, super annoying to deal with.
Ooh, and we get Challenger as well.
Yeah, and so is this Mahira as well, because like now, only one of, however, due to hand size, only one of them will get granted not block. That's pretty big, because that'll give us another unit. Gonna opt instead for impact.
I mean, that's fine too. It does push more damage.
Yeah, but now Calf is like, can just pass here and say my Galio is gonna level, and then it's to get. Then I can go Gentleman's Duel next turn and rally.
I don't think Calf is ever passing here. I think we're just taking the swing.
That's true, but it is a possibility.
Deciding whether they want to develop. They are able to develop the Ash and also hold up Harsh Winds as well.
Mm-hmm. Ash can be easily answered by the Gentleman's Duel from the Petricite Hound, and there's nothing Kasai can do to stop it.
I mean, there is.
Oh, but we're gonna see a bloody business here onto the Petricite Hound. I think you just go for the Gentleman's Duel here to end the game.
Yeah, but you have to do it on the Petricite Hound. You're not allowed to do it on any other unit.
Yeah. And honestly, yeah, if you do that, I don't think, because I think Kasai's just dead now, actually. Because you have to go in second, even if you go second bloody business here, the Petricite Hound's still big enough to kill that. And now you have no blockers. You're taking 14 plus the 3. You're at 1 HP as Kasai, and there's still a 7-8 with double impact.
We have lethal in hand just because we have another enraged fire spitter.
Yeah, like, you know, you hide it. Now it's like either that or you have to go for Harsh Winds on the 2 units.
Yeah.
But you know what else is going to happen? No, Galio's not going to level. Never mind. I think Galio is just off of leveling. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to see a Harsh Winds come out here. That's like the only way Ash Kasai doesn't die.
Only pushing 6 damage now.
Yes, going from 6 to 12 is a very big difference, but the problem is now there's still 2 large units, and Calf can just play second Mahira next turn and say, all right, dude, sick blockers. Or even Windsinger, actually.
I still like second Mahira. Just take this pass now.
Yep. Kasai doesn't really have the option to just pass here. Oh, I like this a lot more though, because now this gives the option for both Mahira and Windsinger, and it also threatens Galio level up now as well.
This is also true, yes. You were correct.
Mm-hmm. Heck, we could even see magical fettering into Windsinger still.
Now playing Mahira is absolutely so huge.
Yeah, I think it's kind of quick for Kasai here.
And we could just add insult to injury and play Ocean Soul. But obviously, opting to go for Infernal Soul now. Or Infernal Boon.
No? Yeah, and now also, like, Kasai's just completely cooked now.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's no Harsh Winds in hand to save anything. You can only get at most 1 blocker at this point. And even with Bloody Business, there's just no way he can survive. He'd have to top deck Harsh Winds to have any chance. And even if he does, Galio is going to level right now and force another attack through.
Yeah.
I actually think if there is a Harsh Winds top deck, there's a chance, but it's not a good one, and then you can still play like a dragon. And yeah, there's no Harsh Winds top deck. There's no hope here. This is going to be game 1 going to Calf, and Calf is 1 game away from getting the sweep.
That is absolutely insane right now.
It's also huge because I think this is the best deck for Shen J4 to beat as well. So now I think it's going to be a bit harder for it to beat Poros.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot harder for LeBlanc Ashe to beat Poros as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, we're going to have to see what's going to be the outcome here. See if Poros can pull out one win and put CAF and the Church of Targon into the finals.
This is absolutely an insane run right now. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, CAF has been doing really good here. Had a really good read this week, I would say, into what the Hot Pink Cutie is about, and not the best hand here, mainly because there's not a Poro stacks, but does have a lot of Poros, and we're gonna see Ashe LeBlanco here going up against it.
But it is completely okay because this Poro herder that we're about to play right now is gonna tutor our Poro King.
No, it didn't. But Sled Dog here, really big for Kasai. Kind of makes this attack not that great, honestly. Or at least the other Poros can't really get in that well.
I mean, it's still perfectly fine. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there's the... Oh, never mind. The game's over. We had a good time.
So here's the cool line. We can play Proto Poro here, turn on Pale Cascade. Hopefully they tap under Iron Elixir of Iron, or they just don't have it at all, but we do have Caster Vision, and we do see that Kasai has it. So, which means that this Yadulski Snowdog is going to be staying around for a little bit longer, Dragon.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't the worst trade for CAF. We still have a second Pale Cascade in hand. They're not drawing a card from this Elixir of Iron. We drew a card for our Pale Cascade. Our unit isn't dying and can still trade with their Sled Dog next turn. We can play Poro Snacks, like it's still dead to anything we swing with it. Like, sure, Kasai can play a Harsh Winds, but do you really want to play a Harsh Winds now on turn 4 when these Poros aren't even that big yet? Also, we could just like see Challenger Poro here into Poro Snacks, and that would be able to kill Sled Dog as well.
Yeah, like playing Affectionate Poro into Poro Snacks right now is absolutely the correct line right now.
It's like either that or even going like Elusive Poro into it as well, because that one can't be blocked. But that one's a little bit more risky because like Ashe kind of does stop our attack a little bit. Could also just see like Poro Snacks into attack here and get in with a bunch of 2/2s. Push 7 damage if they don't want to block with their Sled Dog. But we're going to see the Challenger Poro come out. That's going to see probably a combat cooking response.
Oh, 100%.
Honestly, we could even see them going after the 5/1 Challenger.
I don't think so. I don't think there's a reason for us to really do that right now.
True.
I think just
we don't have Poro King in hand. It's like that's the one reason to do is we have Poro King in hand.
Yeah.
And we want to like make him get down. But then again, it's like not really that important. Do you think you pull the 4/5 or the Sled Dog here?
You pull the Yadulski Snowdog just to stop it from generating value. Like this, the way we lose is if this Yadulski Snowdog is able to swing.
Yep. So we're gonna see. I will say, Cap is not have that many units in play right now. We see the Poro stories. He's got plenty of refill here. Glacial Saurian's a pretty solid top deck here from Kasai. Because it's buffed by the Sled Dog. It's gonna find us another Sled Dog as well.
This
Poro so that gives us 2 plays next turn.
The Poro Herder had to have drew us Poro King in order for us to stay in this game, but it's looking pretty rough.
I mean, I don't think it's over for Cap because like we have 6 Poros. We have a lot of blockers right now if we need them, and we're like still like pretty even on the board. I think, and we have 2 elusives guaranteed right now.
I think what's really helping us out. Fable Poro is actually kind of neat.
Oh, Brittle Steel is also really nice though for Kasai at this point in the game because it's turned on. I'll just play our 2-drop and our 4-drop and then still have mana for it.
Second Yaduski Snowdog coming down. It's going to get hit with another, or hit with Pot of Pain as well. Going to be really hard to remove this from now on.
Yeah. I will say we play Pot of Pain, we tap ourselves out of being able to play Trifarian Assessor.
I mean, we're okay with that because there's not really much value in drawing one card, right?
Yeah, but there's value in having a blocker when your opponent's going 6 wide.
6 wide doesn't exist. It's not real.
Yeah. I imagine we're probably going to see a Brittle Steel come out on... I'd honestly say the Impact Poro here, just to stop the extra point of damage.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, plus then we're killing both Challenger units as well. Calf is, like, you know, we say that, like, Calf is, like, you know, just trade away 2 units here, but he still has at least 5 units left in the bank in his hand right now.
Yeah, so it's not really over yet.
Yep.
But we also have so much freeze in the side of Kasai's hand.
Yeah, Kasai has a lot of freeze right now. And also, you know, Saurion is not going to die here. This is no buff spell, so it's going to live at 1 HP.
So how disgusting would it be if we just say, you know what, fuck it, we ball?
Oh, are you saying we rally here?
No, I'm saying we just take the damage.
I think taking the damage is probably not correct, and we're probably going to refill up the 6 wide anyways. Like, I imagine we're going to see Assessor here. Like, we could rally here. That's kind of cute, but, like, there's not really a good reason to rally because our units are going to get blocked. We obviously know there's no Poro Snack because they would have played it to get the trade here. Ooh, Bloody Business is really good here. Like, Kasai's got a pretty solid hand, all things considered. Like, we can go for quite a bit. Any important keywords? We have Spell Shield on our tough unit is a bit annoying, but not too bad. Impact unit got Overwhelm. We got Lifesteal on one of our elusives, which could matter if we didn't know that there was like yes amount of freezes in Kasai's hand.
Yeah.
Although there is a Hush, but doesn't really matter. None of the units on Kasai's board are really impacted by it. Like, you know, you get -1 power on Saurion or Dog, but like that's not gonna cause any trades.
Ooh.
Second elusive Poro is nice, but Kasai also finds a Brittle Steel, which will give him access to up to 4 freezes here. I will say one thing that might matter actually is Calf hushing his own unit. But that wouldn't really matter right now because he'd push at most like 2 damage if he did it on the Fabled Poro.
Yeah. This is a really awkward spot.
Yeah. Like, I think he has to full swing here. The funny thing is here, hushing the Glacial Saurion if it blocked the Fabled Poro actually would matter, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
All right, the question is here, do we see double Harsh Winds committed here? Kasai can also go to 1.
Wow.
Kasai's going to opt to go to 1.
Wow.
To be fair, Kath doesn't have burn in his deck. I guess he's waiting to see if Kath is going to play like a Poro Snacks here, because that would like matter quite a bit. But then like you want to freeze after the Poro Snacks.
Yeah.
I think Kath's gonna be disappointed. He does not have a Poro Snacks here to follow this up with.
Honestly, I think if you're on the side of Calf, you just take this. Like, this is honestly as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah, this is really good for Calf, all things considered. And like Kasai can rally here if he really wants to, but
it's not really gonna do much just because we have Hush for the Saurian, and we're opting to burn mana.
I mean, what can he do really? Oh, Ash is big though. Instead, it's gonna take the attack here. Gonna double block here. I imagine we're gonna see one of these units getting saved at least. Also, you know what? We joked earlier about hushing our own unit. that might matter now because Kasai's at 1 HP. 1 damage is enough to kill.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna see the Sky Splitter come out here, and this is lethal. If there's not,
It's not lethal.
We're gonna have to see the Hush come out here aggressively,
Which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, like I think it's perfectly fine because I found that was a really nice line there by Kasai to find that lethal. Like now your Saurion's healed to full, and also getting that Hush out is huge. Because now we don't have to worry about that for the crackback. The problem, of course, right now is that they are kind of going to die, and they're going to go 6. They're able to go 6 wide.
Yeah, honestly.
However, we are able to play. Ooh, I'm surprised we didn't rally here. I thought we should have rallied here, honestly.
I mean, rallying doesn't really do a whole lot for us just because we can just throw one of our lifesteal Poro under the bus and heal. Oh, and the king has graced us with his presence, but it doesn't really matter at this point.
Well, it matters a lot. This is guaranteed lethal now because now you can attack, and if they freeze everything, you just play Poro snacks and win.
I mean, they've blown a ton of freezes.
Now the funny thing is, because I still would have been able to survive. He has 4 freezes in hand.
But we also have silence in our hand, so we're able to just silence
You can only silence an enemy with that, though.
Really?
Yeah. That one only works on enemies. However, it would have made 2 units not block, so because I would have just barely not had enough to block with.
Yeah.
And not even gonna bother trying to rally here because he's not gonna have enough mana to play that and all the freezes. Because it's 9 mana for all the freezes, 6 mana to rally. I really think he should have rallied last turn, though, honestly, because getting like 1 more unit off the board would have mattered a lot. But yeah, now it's just completely over.
And we hit Impact Snack.
Yeah, it's just over now completely for Kasai, sadly, because now like it doesn't matter if we freeze because we went to 1 HP, any buff kills us, so. Yeah, congratulations to CAF for the quick 3-0 and moving on to the finals.
Wow, that was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
We will continue to not see J4 Shen win a game on stream, I guess.
This is very true. So for those of you who just tuned in, Dragon, give us a recap of what just happened while we see if we can get an interview with Church of Targon here.
Yeah, we saw CAF come in game 1 with Elder Dragon Gallia Morgana against Ash LeBlanc. They both had pretty slow starts, so that greatly favors the Elder Dragon player because once turn 6 came around, they were just playing cards with boons, which was getting a lot more value, a lot stronger plays, and it just outvalued Kasai and just completely ran him over. And then game 2, Poro King versus Ash LeBlanc. Kasai tried the risky line to like go to 1 HP against the Poro's deck, trying to close out and find the lethal, but unfortunately he just couldn't get there and cross the finish line, and that led to the win there coming in.
It's been 3-0 on the other side of the bracket too. BKB just 3-0'd ABAT as a Wild Dragon.
Yeah, Squally Lag, I guess, was the first person who came up for Breaking Bandle. I guess he decided, you know what, guys, you don't need to worry about it today. We're going into the finals.
Yeah. So we don't have another match to jump into. We're just waiting for a church. We're just waiting for one of the people from Church of Targon to come up, and they want to send up CAF for some reason, which is very interesting. I don't know why they would want to do that.
Why aren't you inviting the people who didn't play a single game? What the heck?
Yeah. So we're gonna bring up Mr. CAF right now. CAF, welcome. How does it feel knowing that you just 3-0'd sweep this week?
I mean, it feels pretty good. The games were pretty good. Definitely not the cleanest, but we got it done.
Hey, you know what? They were pretty quick, though. I have to say, we're done, and we're already done. So
yeah,
congratulations.
I guess, yes.
Yeah,
I got you guys.
this is actually 3 hours. This is probably our shortest
Not even
playoff
3.
stream.
Not even 3. It's only 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
2
you're right.
hours.
You're right. 2 hours. You're right.
Our main goal as a team is to make sure Roji never gets to play in the playoffs. So
Why is
it's,
that?
it's still on.
We don't want people. You don't want him showing off his Elder Dragon Morgana Shyvana deck. It makes complete sense to me.
Yeah, we're hiding that secret meta there.
You're hiding the Malphite tech?
Yeah, he was just saying he should have brought Diego. He could have brought Diego again because he didn't have to play.
True, he could have brought anything he wanted, honestly. Hey, you know what? He could have even brought Pike Gallia.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
You could have.
The undefeated Aegis deck. Oh.
All right, Kev, give us some insight about how your prep for this week went.
Let's see. We might have done the least prep this week compared to the other 2 weeks of playoffs because we did a lot before. And since like the format isn't changing, there wasn't a whole lot more to do. But shout outs to Ballfire. When we were deciding on our lineups and I was gonna bring Jinx and Poro King again, we were like, this is fine. It's like you can't really counter it unless you bring Darius and Echo, and like what are the odds they do that? But Ballfire did, so that was some good scouting.
Yeah, it was like really close game. You had to get lethal on the stack to get that one closed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was really lucky to I think to get the Poro King win on Elder Demacia because Poro King is like miserable in Tanar. I like won the coin flip because I started Poro King and he started Dragon, so I got to play that matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, he managed to just so you know, he had a blocking Badger Bear and then no other units until 6 mana the impact game. You might have noticed that.
When I played the King on 5 and he passed back 8 mana, I had an inkling something was up.
Yeah, were you prepared for the triple Cloud Dragon hand though?
Oh man, and then another one from Deathless. Yeah. I was worried I was worried he was just gonna play out his whole hand for free there. I think if I didn't win on like the exact swing, then going into his turn he would have definitely won.
Yeah, for sure. If he had one more turn, he actually would have flipped that entire match.
Yep.
But any questions for Calf, Mr. Dragon?
So what made you decide for your top end choices for your gem deck there? Because I know there's like been some debates on like which cards are best. So I see you've opted, I think, more for like the mirror, I would say, with like going for 2 Mehira and triple Windsinger.
Yeah, this deck is more credit to my team than me because this is my first week actually playing it. Usually either Skates or Rosie plays it. But we figured out pretty early that Windsinger is like really good, so it should definitely be a 3 of. Because anytime somebody plays something for like 6 or more mana and you Windsinger it, it's like it's so bad for them. And then let's see, Mehira's good. Even though, oh my god, I thought I completely messed it up. I thought I burned I burned one of the shackles because his hand was full. And if I had messed up and like his hand was completely full and I burned both of them, I might have thrown that one.
Just like showed twice because it shackles them twice, so you see the animation twice as well. Going on there.
Oh, and then we actually used to have it more tech for the mirror with the horned dragon guy. Dragon that like disables keywords. Because if you want to be playing into gem, that's like insane, like turning off formidable.
Yep.
But I was more going to be banning gem, so didn't need that tech.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I think there's only like one other Elder Dragon deck he played against, and it wasn't gem. So
yeah,
wound up being a good call, I'd say.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Jinx and Poro King, those are my dogs right there. Those decks absolutely go hard.
Yeah.
For sure. So, who was the scariest person you were, or who were you most afraid of going up against Hot Pink Cuties tonight?
Definitely Ballfire. Ballfire's lineup was really bad for me, and that's like the main reason we decided for me to go first, was to try to get me to like play somebody hopefully before Ballfire, like before the counter matchup came in, which did happen because they sent Luna, and yeah, Ballfire's lineup was really bad for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're keeping up with reveal season right now, but I'm gonna throw this question out there for you. What is your favorite card out of reveal season so far?
Oh my god, that's like what all of us were actually looking forward to. That's like the best, or like the thing I'm most happy about winning, is we get to go into the finals week on a completely new patch. Oh, it's gonna be so sick.
Yeah. Have fun learning all the cards in 2 days.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. But I think Vex is huge. She's a house. 4 mana 5/4 with an effect that like reduces the size of enemy units. I think she's gonna be probably broken.
Yeah, also, multi-regions, you can play it in Bandle and Shadow Isles. The -1/-1 is permanent, and then also it's kind of hard to block favorably on turn 4 because you play like a 3/3, she turns into a 2/2. And she's like, your opponent's a 4/4, turns into a 3/3 that can't trade. So like,
yeah.
Yeah. Also, it's finally some fearsomes in standard. That's one thing that would have been really good into like Gem. That's the most popular deck, is like any fearsome deck, but they rotated all of the fearsome cards.
Don't worry, they've also rotated Nocturne.
Yeah.
Nightfall is no more, but also Lurk is no more, so we celebrate that.
No.
I think Lurk's been no more for a couple years at this point.
Hey man, Lurk has always lived on in our hearts.
I was hoping for maybe another Lurk nerf on the way out the door in this patch. Maybe Pike to 7 mana. I don't know.
Pike to 7 mana. Holy, calm down there, bud.
Come on,
Chill.
Hey, man, come on! You can't do that to the Path of Champions players, Calf. Come on.
True. Pike must be tough in Path.
Pike is probably bottom 5 champions in Path.
Probably. But
I say that as someone who has played him in Path. He's pretty bad. His powers suck.
So
compared to other champions, whatever.
So Calf, how does it feel knowing that you're going against Breaking Bandle last season's champions?
I didn't see they won. It's going to be good. Also, I'd like to point out that we were in the same group in the regular season. So I mean, it's got to be confirmed that we had the toughest group.
Yeah, man. All I'm saying is, I think Howdy would have made it out. We were in exactly the group with the
we were just talking about how Howdy would have made it out of any other group.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
So who are you afraid of on Breaking Bandle the most? Like who is the person for you to look out for?
I don't know. The real answer is probably Squally, but the funny answer is like Talpinator if he ever gets up. Was he even here for this match?
Oh, he didn't have to be because Squally like 3-0'd.
Yeah, he didn't have to be.
He's probably sleeping and is like, yeah, guys, call me if I need to play. And then he just like rolls out of bed.
He missed last week. He was the first player and missed last week.
Yeah, whatever. Oh wait, they sent him first?
Yeah, they sent him first last week and he overslept.
That is hilarious on multiple levels.
Yeah, this would be like, you know what? How about we just win without putting Doppelganger in so he doesn't have to play?
Yeah, he's like the ringer.
Yes, sir.
It should be cool because both the teams have won an Aegis season before, so we're both going for the back-to-back.
So I do want to point out, this has actually been Aegis history now. Talpinator is the first world champion to actually make it this far into playoffs, in Aegis playoffs.
Wow, that is cool.
Every world champion has either not made it into playoffs or lost in the first round of playoffs.
Damn.
Yeah, and hey, you know, there's also another historic event coming up next week, Hirsch.
What?
We'll have our first 2-time Aegis champion next week, I believe. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, this is correct. We might have our first 2-time Aegis champion. So actually, we are creating Aegis history.
Because Chip also has won in the past, I believe.
Yeah. This is actually going to be absolutely an insane week for next week. But any shout outs you want to give, Kev, before we send it off here?
I don't think so. You know, really like playing this last season. I'm glad Aegis put it on as, you know, farewell to the game. Also shout out Sea Dog if you're watching this. That one's for you. And yeah, we're definitely gonna be cooking next week. So
any final words you want to give to Breaking Vandal before next week?
Maybe just don't set an alarm, Talpinator. It'll be chill. maybe just pop an extra sleeping pill, an extra melatonin. It'll be fine.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty. Any final words, Dragon?
Nope. Thank you for having me on this week. I'm excited for the finals next week. I'm excited to see what our players will bring with all the new decks. We don't even know what all the cards are yet, so excited to see what we're going to get for the reveals. Excited to see what they're going to bring out, and excited to see who's going to be our first 2-time Aegis champion.
Yes, I am as well. And before we send it off, I'm going to try to give us a quick recap of the bottom side of the bracket if we have any finished matches, and we do. All of our matches have finished on the bottom side of the bracket. So for next week, we have the featured match, Breaking Vandal versus Chip. We have in the lower bracket, we have Duck Peak going against ABG Noxus. Duck Peak getting a 3-0 victory against ABG Fa because they did FF this week. We have ABG Noxus taking TKG 3-1. We have Lotus Esports advancing because Ninetales FF this week. So they will be going against Copium Card Gamers, who 3-0'd Shikate this week. And in third and fourth place, we have Arachnobats, and we also have Hot Pink Cuties as well. So we do have 5th and 6th to figure out, and we have obviously our 1st and 2nd to figure out as well, Dragon.
I'm excited to see what our teams are going to come up with for their decks next week, and who's going to take the coveted 1st place, 2nd place, and all of the places down below.
Yeah. And with that, I am going to send it out, Dragon. Dragon, thank you for joining me this week. It's always a blast casting with you.
Well, it's a blast casting with you as well, Mr. Hirsch. I hope to maybe see you next week. If not, best of luck to the casters and best of luck to the players.
We will see who we get on next week. Who knows? Maybe I might just throw in everybody. Everybody may come on. Who knows?
Oh boy, get like a 5 team of casters. That'll be fun.
We'll figure it out. But there's only one way to find out, Dragon. Do you know how that way to find out is?
Tune in next week at 7 o'clock or sooner if we do pregame.
Yes, sir. So everybody, as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
get it on. If the sunshine, let me know. All my thoughts move in the darkness, pouring down.